berserk, go berserk. Song hit, make the club go berserk. Yeah, I'm just trying to make that work. Song hit, make the world go berserk. Big dog, count money like clerks. I'm just trying to make that work. Fully equipped, big whip is a perk. Song hit, make the trunk go berserk. Berserk, go berserk. Song hit, make the club go berserk. Yeah, I'm just trying to make that work. Song hit, make the world go berserk.
Hello again and welcome to the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report presented by Honda. I'm Brandon O'Doy. Again, we have an exciting show for you featuring two of the traditional Blue Bloods in Palm Beach County, none other than Dwyer and Atlantic as our game of the week. And we'll look forward to the top plays, the Jackpot play of the week, and our analysis going into week 3 of Florida high school football. So buckle up because we're getting ready to talk about the great state of Florida, a juggernaut in high school football. I want to present to you the game of the week. Dwyer travels to Delray Atlantic. Why are these two programs so important? Well, let's start with the pedigree. NFL players galore, starting with Dwyer, Jacoby Brissett, and Atlantic, Mike Rump, current University of Miami assistant coach. This is a game that has pedigree, but also power. Both of these teams come into this game absolutely undefeated. These are two of the best teams in Palm Beach County, in South Florida, and therefore in the state of Florida. And also the storylines. In the offseason, Gio Richardson and James Meeks, they come over from Oxbridge, where they finished as runner-ups in the 3A state championships. Also Atlantic, they were runner-ups in the 8A state championships. These two teams, there's no love lost. They meet together for a wonderful game. Let's go out to Delray Atlantic High School for the highlights.
All right, Atlantic Community High School, the Atlantic Eagles, welcoming Dwyer, and this should be a wonderful contest. First quarter action, Marcus Lyman. Hey, the very first play of the game looks like it's going absolute nowhere. It looks like a freshman mistake, but no, that would turn into freshman magic. Check out this over 50-yard return, kickoff return that was set up. A Keliani Alamoto pass to Cameron Williams for the score. 7-0 Atlantic at this time, and they would try to tackle more. But watch as Seth Varillas, the middle linebacker, the senior, this kid is an excellent prospect. Pay attention to him moving forward. He gets the interception, but they couldn't manage to make it work because the defensive line of Atlantic was absolutely outstanding. Now, Dwyer was no slouch on defense themselves, and a 7-0 contest, it looked to be a defensive battle until Christopher Smith went up top, said thank you very much. 14-0 Atlantic. Now, Gio Richardson trying to answer, but he is absolutely harassed all afternoon long by that defensive line. But Bobby Ames, he would be a guy that they try to get going, and they would find something here, but nothing on that drive. Dwyer would come back defensively, get the opportunity to get the ball, and then watch this, just as they look like they're about to punch it close to the end zone, fumble! Atlantic takes over on their own 20-yard line. That young man would be okay later on in the contest. Atlantic has to punt, however, partially blunked there, but Dwyer would take over and get excellent field position on this drive, and that would lead to a Bobby Ames touchdown. Right into your living room. Boom, listen to that one. The sound on that was incredible. Ames running with power. 14-7, we caught up with both coaches at half.
I just told our defensive guys, we gave a couple big special teams plays up. They shut the run down, got caught looking in the backfield on a couple pass plays, and we're gonna get that corrected and come out in the second half and have a great second half.
So right now, guys just got to stay disciplined, and we have to just keep making plays on defense. We have to turn over. We got to turn over the ball on defense and just have our defense create offense right now.
All right, second half action here. This was all about Atlantic. Meet Montage Joseph. Number 12, the running back, the sophomore running back that is, gets in for a score. Dwyer would answer with none other than the transfer from Oxbridge, James Meeks. He would get in, and listen, Dwyer would still be in the contest, but that would do it because it was all Atlantic from here on out. Watch Gio Richardson get taken down, the ball stripped. Atlantic would begin to roll, and this thing would get out of hand. Montage Joseph again, back into the end zone. He puts the Atlantic Eagles up 30-13. But wait, would Meeks get back into the game? Check this young man out. This is one of the most dynamic runners in Palm Beach County, Florida. James Meeks, the Oxbridge transfer, gets into the end zone. What? Wait a minute. There is a flag. It would not stand. It would be brought back on a hold. And Atlantic says, we'll take it from here. That's Henry Bryant, the third, the defensive tackle. 30-13 is your final score. We talked to head coach TJ Jackson.
Great atmosphere to see the fans come out and support the kids. You know, and it's just a great feeling just to see the kids progressing and getting better each day and practicing each week and game week. So it's just a great feeling to see it.
The whole team, the whole defense had to work as brothers to keep that score down. So I'm proud of the whole team.
We going for stays for 2-3. Mark.
And wow, that's just a special moment right there from senior quarterback Kalani Ilyamoto, the haka dance, a traditional Polynesian war dance. And his team, they did battle tonight. They came out on top, and I expect them to rise in our footballhotbed.com power rankings. You can check those out from our senior writer Marcus Benjamin on footballhotbed.com. But still ahead, don't forget the Jackpot Play of the Week from the Florida Lottery, and not to mention the top plays. But next, it's the Eye on Tampa. We go to the West Coast. All that and more when we return on the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report presented by Honda.
I've always dreamed of going to space, but they told me that's impossible. Today, I am an engineer, and one day, I might live on another planet.
Greatness is within reach. The 2019 Honda Fit.
Okay, so now it's time for the Eye on Tampa, brought to you by Honda.
Let's go to Bradenton, Florida, where IMG would welcome Miami Norland. First half of play, Trey Saunders, senior running back, nice touchdown there. Norland would try to stay in this one. They were led by their senior quarterback, Deion Jones, who hooks up for a nice long pass play there. They would stay in this ball game early, but this one would begin to get out of hand. And thanks to Noah Kane, hard run there, 7 carries for 68 yards and a tutty on that one. But Deion Jones tried to keep his team in it. There's the rush touchdown, but does a little bit too much here. 100-yard interception by DJ Turner, and IMG would go on to roll 49-14 over Miami Norland. They play Liberty of Nevada next week, and we will have the highlights. Let's go to Plant visiting Robinson. Robinson would not have enough for Plant, looking very formidable there on defense, causing the safety. Tucker Gleason goes up top for Mr. Leonard Parker. Tucker over from Eastlake. Great transfer pickup at quarterback for Plant. Robinson would score. They would get into the end zone here, punching it in for 6, but that would be all they could muster on the night because this was the Walter Wilbon show. We saw highlights of this young man last week. He continues to impress, not once, not twice, but Mr. Walter Wilbon III scored 3 times, 40-6. Plant rolls over Robinson. They'll meet Armwood this week.
All right, now let's take a look at all the scores from around Tampa.
Plant City 17-7 winners over Hillsborough. Venice gets by Riverview 19-12. St. Petersburg 37-21 winners over Lakewood. Lakeland all over Cooper City 55-7. Lake Gibson gets past Kathleen 22-16. And Manatee beats Palmetto 29-20.
So those are your Tampa area scores for week 2. And now I want to highlight just this young man, Walter Wilburn III. This is a guy from Plant High School, this running back. He's special. I talked to Coach Robert Wiener. He says, listen, keep your eye, Brandon, on this young man. First week, he makes a tremendous play, jumps over a defender. This week, 4 touchdowns. What's next? What's next is game of the week, Armwood versus Plant. Football Hotbed will be there for the Florida High School Football Report Game of the Week. Next week in Tampa, we head west for the first time all season long, so look forward to that. I'm expecting a very unique matchup because Plant has come into this game undefeated. Armwood is looking to get back into the season because they took a very close loss to Tampa Bay Tech, their rival, and now these two rivals, two of the best in the West Coast, two of the best in the Tampa area, go head-to-head. The winner will be considered one of the best teams in the area. If Plant wins, they'll be considered the best, and they pose the biggest threat to number 2 St. Thomas Aquinas in 7A in the state of Florida, so we're excited about that, and we can't wait to get to next week. But for now, let's look forward to Eye on Orlando when we come back on the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report presented by Honda.
Once you experience the all-new Honda Accord Sport with its radiant redesign, performance that shatters expectations, and Honda Sensing Standard, you'll see the sedan in a whole new light. The all-new Honda Accord Sport.
Now it's time for our Eye on Central Florida, brought to you by Honda. Oviedo heads to Winter Park, and Winter Park would get started early first quarter. Casey Case passes off to Marcus Clark for the score, and Oviedo would get back into the ball game. That's Mitchell Morgan, Keontae Coffee hookup. Keontae with a great, excellent effort on that one, but this was the Marcus Clark show. This time, from quarterback Gino English, Clark would race 80-plus yards for the touchdown. I now pronounce you very fast. Winter Park 34, Oviedo 10. They'll hook up with Wekiva 2-0 next week. Let's go up to Seminole now, where Seminole welcomed D-Land, and quarterback Leon Rowe goes on top for Deontay Marks for a touchdown. D-Land gets on top early. Mistakes were the issue for Seminole all night. Matthew Moore for D-Land jumps on the football, but they would stabilize under the leadership of Timmy McClain, the quarterback. He looked like he was going to run, but he passes to Graydon Crow for the touchdown. But McClain had some issues. This time he gives up a touchdown. D-Land falls on it for a touch, but McClain wouldn't give up. Credit to him, he goes deep again to Kroll for the touchdown. This happened in the fourth quarter, so it looked like Seminole would run away with this thing, but not so fast. Roll to Demaris Bellamy, D-Land 20, Seminole 17. They'll face Deltona 2-0 next week.
Okay, now let's take a look at all the scores around the Orlando area.
Bob Jones 39-36 winners over Mainland. Ocoee 49-19 winners over Olympia. Lake Nona took care of Boone 42-27. Heritage Del Rey from South Florida went up to Trinity and took care of business 35-14. Treasure Coast with the 34-29 upset of Cocoa, and Wekiva 28-14 over the defending high classification champs North Gwinnett in Atlanta's Freedom Bowl.
All right, so those are your scores from around the Orlando area, including Brevard County. And one young man we want to spotlight is Avante Williams. This is a young man that's being sought out there by many colleges, including the University of Miami and Florida State. And the significance with Avante is he's back home now at D-Land. And he went to IMG Academy in Bradenton. He's now back home to play his junior season. He's a young man that's been on the footballhotbed.com showcase platform as an 8th grader, and he is absolutely critical. Now, they'll need him this week as they prepare to take on crosstown rival Deltona. D-Land Deltona coming up this week, and we'll have highlights here on the footballhotbed.com Florida High School Football Report. So still to come, top plays. Don't forget the Florida Lottery Jackpot Play of the Week, and not to mention the Eye on South Florida is next when we come back on the Florida High School Football Report presented by Honda.
South Florida, Honda has it. Our largest Honda inventory with clearance savings from $169 a month during the Honda Summer Spectacular event. Thousands of Hondas are on clearance for up to $42.40 less than the competition. $169 a month or save thousands with 0.9% financing. Fits, HRVs, Civics, Accords, CRVs, Pilots, Odysseys, all on clearance from $169 a month this week at your local Honda dealer. South Florida, Honda has it.
Now it's time for Eye on South Florida, brought to you by your South Florida Honda dealers.
St. Thomas Aquinas visiting Piper. First quarter action. Running back Daniel Carter moseys his way down the sideline, and he would get in for the score. St. Thomas would absolutely roll in this, but there was a little glimmer of hope for Piper as Kirk is still the quarterback senior committed to Harvard. Throws over the middle, picked off by Cecil Powell. This young man is impressive, man. He is fast too. Pick six, the younger cousin of Eddie Jackson of the Bears. Touchdown Piper, but it wouldn't be enough. Samuel Durkee in for the score. St. Thomas would roll 35-6 over Piper. Let's go to Hollywood now, where MacArthur was hosting Hollandale. And the air show by none other than senior quarterback T.J. Smith. He goes up top. Touchdown Mustangs, but Hollandale would answer. Andrew Henley. This young man is one to be watched, and he is also very, very fast. He gets into the end zone for a touchdown kickoff return with a nice exclamation point on the end, but Hollandale, the Chargers, could not stop Mr. Smith and the Mustang Air Show. Up top for a touchdown, Coach Pierre Sinatus, 2-0 with a 31-28 victory over Hollandale. Let's now go to Orlando, where Coconut Creek was hosting Greeley West out of Colorado, and this one was all Creek. Touchdown here, and Creek would roll 21-0 over their friends from Colorado. Now let's go down to Tropical Park in Miami, where the upset of the weekend, that's none other than Columbus over Northwestern. That is Mr. Henry Parrish, and that is a 90-plus yard touchdown run. Columbus goes up early on the defending 6A champs, but the champs wouldn't give up too soon. Kalijah Clancy with the scoop 6 for a touchdown. The Bulls would get back into this game, but it would not be enough just before the half, and giving them the momentum for the remainder of the game. Xavier Henderson for the Blur touchdown. Columbus would upset 23-14 over the West.
Let's take a look now at the scoreboard from across South Florida.
MacArthur takes care of Hollandale 31-28. Dillard 14-12 winners, upset winners over Western. Plantation all over Blanchely 37-6. Palmetto handily beats Naples 27-17. Southridge squeaks by North Miami 15-6. And Deerfield goes to Atlanta and beats Buford 19-14.
Yeah, just another ultra-competitive weekend in South Florida football. So those are your scores, and look forward to Carroll City, #1, going against Columbus. Miami Columbus proved their mettle against Miami Northwestern with the upset win. But now let's see if they are really for real as they take on the Chiefs. So now we're set up to have a wonderful week next week in South Florida. Miami Central has asserted themselves, getting past Booker T. Washington. 6-5 at half, blowout win. Shout out to Coach Roland Smith and the Rockets. They did their thing. But also, we want to give credit to Deerfield Beach for going to Georgia, and they knocked off Buford. They will host Westlake here in Deerfield Beach next week. It's going to be an exciting weekend of South Florida football, and their ranking shifts will continue to happen. Stay tuned to footballhotbed.com for all the details. Now, let's look at highlights from the rest of the state of Florida.
Let's go up to Apopka versus Bartram Trail. Bartram Trail in a little bit of trouble here. That's Cornelius Williams, the 5'9 senior, who stays on his feet and gets into the end zone for a score. That's Griffin Helm, though. They come right back with a Zach Rhodes halfback pass, but this one was all Apopka. Jacorian Davis Hamilton, check him out here, stays on his feet, eludes several defenders on his way for a very tough touchdown. The big man, Jalen Carter, 6'4", 260-pound junior tight end, defensive tackle, gets in on the score. And then to cap everything off, the rush by number 2, Eric Wright. Apopka will win this one 32-27 over the defending 7A runner-ups, Bartram Trail. And here's our scoreboard from around the state. Gabi 47, Mandarin 44, Madison County 54, 6 winners over Newberry. Fort Walton Beach 21-7 over Arnold. University Christian 64-28 over Wildwood. Glade Central gets past Oakleaf 32-26, and Trinity Christian blanks Reebok 47-0. All right, so now you're all set with your scores and highlights from all over the state of Florida. And the moment you've been waiting for, let's go out to the top plays of week 2. Let's go out to Fort Lauderdale. Number 5, double pass action, ends up in the hands of Richard Dunbar IV. For the touchdown, Fort Lauderdale would roll. Number 4, let's go to Winter Park and Mr. Marcus Clark. Nice 80-plus yard run. That would be 1 of 8 receptions and 3 touchdowns on the night. Number 4, Hollandale Beach, the Chargers, Andrew Henley. Just a superb run back on the kickoff return against MacArthur. He would score twice in this game, but this was the one he put the icing on the cake. Number 2, St. Thomas visiting Piper, and Kirk Castile just did not see Cecil Powell and watch him absolutely accelerate. Crackbacks everywhere on the field. That's the younger cousin of Eddie Jackson of the Bears. And number 1, let's go down to Miami Tropical Park in Henry Parish. The 90-plus yard rushing touchdown, the junior running back making a name for himself.
All right, and that Henry Parish run was a backbreaker for Miami Northwestern. Congratulations on being the top player of the week. Speaking of top players, let's now go to our Turn on the Tape segment where a player wants to get your attention. I'm talking about college coaches from all across the country. You need to check out 6'2" senior quarterback Kalani Iliamoto from Atlantic Del Rey High School. All right, Kalani Iliamoto, he's a guy that needs to be recruited, so college coaches, pay attention. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the moment you voted for, the Florida Lottery Jackpot Play of the Week. It comes from none other than Frank Gore Jr., running back at Miami Killian High School.
All right, now it's time for the Florida Lottery Jackpot Player of the Week, and it's none other than Frank Gore Jr. The junior running back from Miami Killian High School absolutely had a field day over American High School. That's a touchdown. He would add another number 3, just like Dad, the former University of Miami Hurricane. Frank Gore Jr. is this week's Jackpot Player of the Week. The young man has an absolutely bright future. He's a great running back. Congratulations, Frank.
All right, that was the Jackpot Player of the Week. And don't feel bad if you didn't get your vote this week. Next week, we'll have another opportunity for you to vote. Go into our social media, Twitter, Instagram, and also Facebook, and vote for next week's Jackpot Play of the Week. For now, I'm Brandon O'Doy on the Florida High School Football Report presented by Honda. We will see you next week. Game of the Week, on wood and planned. It's a hotbed world.
Berserk, go berserk. Song hit, make the club go berserk. Yeah, I'm just trying to make that work. Song hit, make the world go berserk.